Welcome back to Central Valley Wedding and Special Events. I have DJ Lunátiko with me. Thank you for joining me today.
Appreciate the invite.
And I'm so glad to have you because music is really one of the most important parts of an event. It seems like it really sets the tone and the energy. How did you first get into this?
I kind of have grown up around music. I grew up in the small community of Cantua Creek, which lacked a lot of big city luxuries. We didn't have, movie theaters or anything like that. So I kind of immersed myself in music. My dad playing the guitar, my mom being a folklorico teacher. So I was kind of always around that. And you either had to develop some sort of habits out there, and I was kind of the kid in the background for the school dances because we didn't have that many social activities out there, so we would just look forward to like any type of school dance, or if somebody was having a backyard boogie, a quinceañera, something around there, we would essentially try to go to that party because we didn't have anything else to do, and I was that odd kid in the background just kind of looking at the DJ like, oh, that's cool, so that's kind of how I initially got involved. Once I came here to Fresno State, I was still doing that. Through the support of my parents. They always were like, yeah, you should do it, and we'll lend you the money and stuff like that. So I always had their support. But once I came here to Fresno State, I started running into DJs who actually knew how to mix from one song to the next song. And I was like, whoa, I cannot do that at all seamlessly like they can. So then I essentially started living in the club for like a whole summer.
Developing that skill.
Developing that skill, developing that craft. Just respected it so much, and then just started slowly gravitating more and more towards the art form of it, and started picking up some tricks here and there, some little bit of scratching, just to change it up a little bit.
Right.
And so fast forward, now 15, 16 years later, still in it, and hopefully able to do it for the rest of my life. Yeah.
That's amazing. And it really is an art form because you have to know your audience and know how they're going to respond to the music you play. How do you usually find out what style or what type of music you should play at an event?
I usually try to ask the certain questions to try to get them there. If they saw me at a friend's wedding, usually I have about 70% of my events right now are weddings. So depending if they saw me there or if they saw something on my YouTube channel or they saw something on Instagram or on my Facebook, I'm very active on the social media. Or if they've just heard from somebody else, hey, you should, try to, book this DJ. I try to ask those questions, and then that's going to derive into a different pathway. But I always offer a no obligation meeting. I give them all my paperwork that I use to plan their event, kind of orchestrate it so the bride and the groom are not stressing out that day and they don't have to babysit the DJ, and in that paperwork I have, a breakdown of, the percentage-wise of the age group that you're going to have and the percentage-wise of the genres that you're going to have. And then I also have a special request list that they can also fill out depending on what their likes and dislikes are. And so that'll give me a good idea. But granted, sometimes, that's not usually the case. I did a destination wedding in Yosemite. The couple was from North Carolina.
Okay.
She gave me a list that was totally not what was going to jive there. And even in her review, which was like a paragraph long, she was like, I'm so glad he didn't stick to that list because nobody would have danced. So
Wow.
sometimes they hit the nail right on the head. Sometimes it's,
Sometimes they need to trust your
Yes,
expertise.
yes,
because
exactly.
you've been doing it for a while and you really know what keeps the energy going.
Correct.
And you were mentioning something to me that I find so interesting, that you try to figure out who at the event or what family member is really the one that's the social butterfly that gets out there on the dance floor and gets other people involved with it. Can you tell me more about that?
Yes, something that I like to ask my couples in that first meeting, in trying to just break the ice for them to try to get a feel of the type of person that I am and the type of couple that they are. Sometimes they may not be the really keen on like super dancing couple, but they have a core family who, you know, they love dancing. And sometimes, usually, more than not, they have a person in their family who's like, you know, an Aunt Maria or an uncle, you know, that absolutely loves a certain song. So I kind of just try to ask them, what do your backyard boogies look like? You know, what song is that song that's going to trigger that core person to come out here and get everybody going? Usually there's a person who's like the starter of the conga line and, you know, that outgoing person. And usually if I can just read off of that, they give me some information, then usually I can get that song, and then there's gateway songs to, you know, try to keep the dance floor as full as possible with different genres. I try not to stick to one genre. I like to do what's called an open format club style mixing, so I'll mix from one genre to the next genre without a gap and try to make it super seamless. And so that's super important to dive into what their, you know, family, who their core people are, because it's, I feel like, super important, and it's worked in the past.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds like it would work very well, and it's something I never would have thought of, but it makes sense. But once again, why people should employ your expertise, because you think about those things.
Yes.
Now, I'm sure you're very busy. It sounds like you're a very popular guy, but how do people book you if they want to have you for an event?
Usually, like I mentioned earlier, 70% of my events are weddings. I do also do quinceañeras, and also do functions for school dances, and also do functions for, like, you know, the city of Fireball and the city of San Joaquin. They have like a carnival that they've been booking me here yearly.
So you really dabble in all types of events.
Yes, because the bilingual emceeing is a huge piece of that. Being able to be fluent in English, and then being able to translate seamlessly into Spanish also.
Absolutely.
But they can contact me through the information down below. It's my phone number is 559-978-1966. They could call me, text me, or they can also go to my website, which is DJLunátiko.com.
Okay, and people can kind of get an idea of what you do and your style on YouTube as well, you were saying.
Yes. So they can, the easiest form for them to do that is they can go onto my website, and on there has all my links to my Facebook, my Instagram, and then my YouTube channel, which kind of gives you a DJ's perspective on somebody's event. You know, it's kind of like when you see a big musical or actually a theater or something like that, you see the end result at a wedding, but you don't see that behind the scenes, and you can appreciate it a little bit more and appreciate your entertainers a little bit more, and as to the work that they do and things of that nature.
That sounds like that's so great to have. I'd love to look more into that. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And if any of you missed that information, you can contact us here at Central Valley Talk, and we can get you all the information to book DJ Lunátiko. Thank you for joining me.